We are live on a Wisdom Wednesday. Hello, friends. We are live. We are on our Wisdom Wednesday. We are tuning in. We are opening up the space. We are the connecting the dots of body being, of spiritual being, looking at the ease of life, the path. We are starting to evolve the space, having been doing retreats here in Norway for a while, one-on-ones, kind of opening up the potential for people to follow this path of ease, this path of simplicity and flow, which ease means. And it can be kind of a weird sentiment to choose ease because we're so habituated to be in control, because it's so easy to kind of be in control when we're young, because we have so much energy inherent in us when we kind of grow up in the beginning, and we're so optimistic, our energy is so raised, we're literally awakened, we're more in this enlightened state of being when we're like young. So we can easily control ourselves more for a while. So by controlling ourselves, women sometimes are more emotionally oriented. So then they can control their emotions more, or dictate what emotions they want to have. So sometimes you see that for women, they can orient their emotions to more desire or sensuality, or like a pretty exterior. When they kind of start becoming a little older in school, they start dressing up, they're putting on make, all this stuff is like kind of using the body to control their emotions, to kind of focus their emotions. Well, men a lot of times are more, their energy gateway is more the mind, so they have more energy in their mind starting up. Hence, they can more shut the mind off, or kind of ignore negative thoughts. They can shut it up and just kind of focus on directing the mind, like seeing solutions, playing games, being very focused, very powerful, because it comes more from the mind. It has more of an intense, a focus. So but when you use your mind to kind of control your mind, to control your thoughts, that is still kind of a manipulation. Just as controlling your emotions into happiness or into desire or into sensuality is still oftentimes you do it to avoid heavier, darker feelings, because we kind of already know what thoughts we should have and not, or what emotions we should have. So we then use our body, our energy, to kind of manipulate and create and be good, be focused. So that it's kind of because we have more energy when we're little. But the thing, when you control something, it starts losing energy gradually, because you kind of capture something. It becomes an obsession. So then the energy kind of is trapped. It's not free. So it works, but gradually the energy will start to kind of fall down gradually. And that's when suddenly you can be hit with a depression or with negative thoughts come up. So then youngsters, depending on how good they've been doing, how much energy they put into this, then they can suddenly get hit with depressions when they're like in their teens, or men can sometimes be hit with dark thoughts or obsessions of sexuality and such, which becomes like, so we kind of get stuck. So we can see that more now than before, that the younger generations, they have more freedom when they are born, so their energy is more elevated, and thus they can more easily control. But control kind of, it will kind of spiral back at you, what people sometimes call karma. What you do will kind of turn on you. So it becomes like a snake when kind of attacks you eventually yourself. So the ease of life is literally based off of a different kind of philosophy. It's a different awareness of a different intention. It is how to remain in the awakened state, how to kind of reach the higher levels of enlightenment. So that is where ease kind of comes in as something that can be hard to understand, because when we are controlled, we don't necessarily, we kind of shut off our feelings, we shut off our thinkings, we control it. So we're not actually relaxing in it. To find ease, you actually have to dare to let go of the control, and then in that relaxation, in that phase, you can come to find a different gate of being. So that is where you can enter the ease of being, or the ease of life, because that's the flow out inwards or outwards. So the ease of life is literally showing you the potential that you can find ease in all these areas of life. It will be felt impossible, and it will seemingly be impossible until it suddenly is possible, like all things. So we're talking about it because this is the path I've undertaken. And it will take you through the darkest nights of body, mind, soul, sexuality, emotion, spirit. But it will also take you to the higher tops of heaven and and bliss. And yet, staying in any of these are there. That's the waves, the flows of life, and you can come to find that place of just relaxation within all these states. And it kind of requires a choice. So we're kind of bringing it in as a choice. I'm kind of sharing it more now because there's more people ready to kind of hear it. There's more people aware that we are trained ever since we're little, from our parents, from society, from how people talk. And most people that talk, when they talk from knowingness, they just share, they teach, they want you to do what they do, they teach what they already done. So most of the training that you had are from people that just have also been trained in that way, like through many generations. So it creates a belief in the need for control. So then we have societies created, whether it's democratic or it's a communist or a socialist or it's capitalist or tribal or all kinds of different mixes, or religiously oriented. These societies have unconsciously, they have adapted to our emotions, our thoughts, our body and kind of created ways to kind of control or to hold on and be able to handle these. And but all these paths actually lead you to contentment and ease, but often at the end of life. At the end of life, right? At the precipice of death, so that you can move in and go through the cycle of dying, which is what a lot of traditions talk about heaven, or they talk about the book of death or the book of life, or they talk about all these breaking the cycles. So the ease of life is kind of a different, it's a little bit less of a masculine tradition. It's more of a feminine, where we can kind of start infusing ease into these things. It requires you to dare to live the life you are living and not just escape, because our ego is already have escaped already. you have you have escaped yourself. You have escaped connecting. You have escaped ease. So we can literally start connecting into ease again, and the energy flow within the body being and within the spiritual being. And through that, our body can change. It will change because we're allowing the body to breathe. We're allowing ourselves to live. We're allowing ourselves to trust that we are exactly where we need to be in our life. Whether it's whatever job you have, whatever money you have, or whatever wife or husband you have, or whatever kids you have, it's daring to trust your inner wisdom. This is can't be taught. It has to be a guidance that is from two. It's from you and from me. I can bring the teaching, but you have to bring your will to dare to surrender, and that something is calling you. So that is the beauty. Now we have kind of created this retreats online and in Norway for a while, and now we're breaching America. We're coming into Chicago to both do online and physical here. So it becomes the expandedness of humanity, both living up the mountains like Norway, kind of hidden away from Europe, hidden away from easily organized, very independent. And then America represents kind of the feminine of like everybody's like in the big apple or in the big sauce of life together, creating more community based. So we have both consciousness, but we also have the physical, and daring to stand alone in life, but also daring to connect in life. That is the body being, which will lead you to spiritual being and to connect to the mature human being, which is the awakenedness without effort, connecting consciousness and breath to be the same energy consciousness. So it's fun to talk about this in different ways, because this has to kind of grow over time. It's not something that you can just be like, I got it. If you get it too fast, that comes from the mind. Or if you feel too much about it, then it comes from emotions. Or if you know it too much from the body, then you literally probably are kind of not seeing the path. You're going back into your past. Well, this is the intention, to release your past so that you can come into the now. And in that place, you have tasted it, but you haven't never really settled there. You might have been there in previous lifetimes, but still it's in this one, you're still a baby. So you have to allow yourself, because the ego is like a baby, it has control. So you have to allow yourself the patience, not needing to have it all figured out. They learn to open up and still enjoy life, even if not everything is perfect. Enjoying life when everything is perfect is easy. It's the easiest thing. Enjoying life when during a pandemic or during pain or during sadness or during anger or desire, that's something different. That is when you start seeing that there's like an inner mastery, that you can suddenly realize that you enjoy something you never thought you would enjoy, because your ego will not believe in this journey from uh, the basic of ego. It is something behind that starts calling. It is beyond, it's behind your ego. It's your beingness that is calling you to this journey. So good. We will if you need to use the restroom or get a little glass of water or beer or whatever you're needing, you can do it now, as we're kind of taking it into allowing this energy, this breath, this relaxation to kind of step down, come in, allowing it into to the now. The words and the thoughts are always bringing us into the past or to the future, but then we have to dare to let them all go, to let the energy of life, the energy of spirit, the energy of you, your conscious awareness, or your awareness of consciousness, settle in here. And then the body can suddenly be felt, which is the past. You're feeling maybe stiffness or headaches or different stuff that you have, as we're kind of opening up and moving through some stuff. But it's also just letting yourself return to forgetfulness, the forgetfulness of the now. Being as stupid as a fool, just as, or as wise as a fool, just letting this moment be your anchor, not in the body, but in spite of the body, not in the emotions, but in spite of the emotions, not in the mind, but in spite of the mind. We are here enjoying, embracing the body, the emotions, the mind, our spirit, our sexuality, but not too much or too little, just enough to just allow the energy of breath, the breath of energy, just the shoulders dropping, the hips dropping, the knees dropping, the ankles dropping, the shoulders, life dropping like a siren, just the chaos, the drama of life dropping. And then you come back here, where it's the only place that we truly ever have. And in that place, there is ease, there is flow, there is just contentment, calmness, relaxation. The gentleness of a smile, not needing to understand anything. These words are not necessarily meant to make you understand. They're meant to kind of give you a feeling of ease, a feeling that there is a potential, a feeling of intention, so that you can dare to trust that you are where you need to be right now, so you can just enjoy this moment. Good, and then the energy is actually coming in, also elevates, like just like a yawn, it just comes up again. It's like the up daring to be living in the uplifted state of being, the ascended state of being, the ease of being. The ease is like, yes, yes, let's go there. So you can start coming back if you close your eyes or if you're laying down or wherever you are, where it's a little bit of a taste of the retreat, whether you're gonna join the next one in Chicago online or you're gonna come here for the physical one. So that will be fun. There's always some people gonna join in, and then there's gonna be people showing up down the line. We still got a month to prepare to set the intention to start embracing this space. So yeah, thank you for showing up today, and thank you for listening to this talk later if you are. And if you have questions, just DM me. There's some experiences or something when you're listening to this, then you can DM me too. Or just, yeah, if you're on YouTube, you could always just go to my Instagram or and send me a DM there. So thank you guys. Have a beautiful one. Have a beautiful